Hello everybody, this is a lock that I just received in the mail today, and it is a 6-lever double-bitted padlock. Top body is brass and the back body is steel clad. This is the first lock I've ever seen with dual metals like that, and this is a interlocking lever design and steel shackle. I do not know who this is. WW, probably some hardware company. If anybody knows, please chime in. So I guess the question mark is, who made this? Anyway, I got this lock in the lock position, and when I open these locks, I always like to do a spring test. And what I had available was this little unused key right here with a single bit, and I merely did some right-left turns and discovered that 5 out of the 6 lever tumblers had spring action. There was a problem on the bottom right lever tumbler underneath the ward plate, and there is a ward plate that measures about 0.025 inch thickness between the bottom 2 lever tumbler pairs. So a lot of people have different methods for opening these locks. I'm a little different. I don't whack them with a hammer. I go in there very meticulously. There is a process that I discuss in my book, The Extreme Antique Padlock Collector, for making keys on these locks, and it's probably the easiest way. If you don't have those keys, all is not lost. You can pick these locks, and you always want to take advantage of what's available to you. In this case, in the lock position, there was a significant air gap between the inside of the shackle and this position right here. And what I ended up doing was making a special shim out of spark gauge gap material, and I made a little I don't know, a little knife-like edge to it. So I was able to individually turn each lever tumbler and press down on that shim until it basically blocked off the entire 3 lever tumblers. Now once that was done, it was just a matter of opening the left side here. And so I took the key and I stuck it in the bottom of the lock and turned this 90 degrees, and it turns out that means that I only had 2 more lever tumblers remaining in order to open the lock. So I took some L wires and I pressed them inside the lock up against the 2 remaining lever tumblers, one on this side and one on that side, and I was able to pop the lock open. And when I got the lock open, I discovered, man, there's just absolutely no shackle spring to it at all. I would say it had about 20% spring action, and I was like, oh, what a shame. And I started looking at the lever tumbler, at this most left one right here, and that thing was completely retracted. I was able to take some WD-40 and let it soak for a little bit, and it didn't do any good. Clearly, all the springs were working quite well on all the remaining lever tumblers. There was no issue there, but this one, oh my goodness, what a downer. So about an hour later, I decided to pick the lock open up again and see what's going on. And I seem to remember something about these locks. The spring inside here is just a standard compression spring. And I kind of thought, I had this issue before on a similar lock. And what can happen, and what often does happen, is the spring inside here can slip. And if it slips, that slipping can put some weird force on the ward plate. And that force will cause tremendous friction on the lever tumbler. In this case, it was the bottom right one. And to kind of prove that to myself, I made a little hook tool and I levered up against the ward plate. And as soon as I did that, this lever tumbler just snapped back. I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is still good. There's hope. So once I learned that the lever tumbler was still good, I started thinking, there's got to be something about that spring. So what I did next was I made a little hook tool and I pressed it inside over the top lever tumblers and turned it and managed to reach in there and grab the bottom of the spring. And I don't know exactly what I did, but I think it realigned itself, resaddled itself back into where it's supposed to be. And as soon as I did that, oh my gosh, look at the spring action on this thing. Beautiful. And then the lever tumbler, which had absolutely no spring to it, all of a sudden, just like magic, it just snapped back in, and now it's 100%. So now I have a beautiful semi-rare 6-lever padlock made by, I don't know, and I will make a key for this. It doesn't have a tremendous amount of bitting changes, I can tell you that much. It's probably a very, very shallow cut based on the preliminary analysis I did with this little single bitted key. So it'll be kind of a plain Jane bit variance from what I gather. Anyway, I hope this gives you guys some hope. If you ever run into this problem, it's not all is lost, and sometimes there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I got lucky. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.